Welcome into the crypto bunker. Today we're going to be talking about a few different charts. I just wanted to show you guys some of the things that I'm looking at. I'm looking at Polygon, I'm looking at Bitcoin, and I'm looking at Ethereum. Those are my three main plays right now. Obviously, like I've said in the past, the majority of my portfolio has been ETH. I've been in a trade on ETH in a low leverage long position since, a few months back, just earning interest actually on Aave Polygon. So I've been earning MATIC tokens, and I caught something in the chart while I was looking at it. And so I wanted to show you guys what I think is about to play out with Polygon. I think it's one of the more bullish projects out there, and they have a lot going on right now. They have a few things they're about to partner with DraftKings and Unstoppable Domains. DraftKings is the home of Autograph, which is the NFT marketplace for Tom Brady, Wayne Gretzky, Derek Jeter, Simone Biles, some of the names that are signed on with them to do NFTs. And so DraftKings is going to be integrating millions of people with Polygon to bring them cheap NFTs that are also going to be able to be compatible with Ethereum as well in the future. So Coinbase NFTs also likely to use Polygon, possibly. We know that there's big backers of Polygon like Mark Cuban, who's also, and the thing I like about Polygon too is they're Ethereum maximalists. They love Ethereum. They want to integrate with Ethereum as much as possible. And so that's what I want to see from an altcoin. And right now it's a way to scale Ethereum. And so there are going to be people who are onboarded to Polygon who are looking to scale. So let me just show you guys what I see in the charts here, because it caught my eye. So a few different things, right? We have this massive wedge that's forming, right here. And when we take here to here, it will probably take us up to a similar mark. We can do that in a second, but what I think is playing out right here is, first of all, sort of a W pattern. So we see it has like two peaks here, where you have the sort of the first part of the W, and then the second part of the W has yet to play out. And we're also we're hovering right on support here. So we flipped resistance and we made it support. So it was resistance here, it was resistance here, 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 here. We went up, and now we are flipping it, and we're sitting on a launch pad. That's how I look at it. We're sitting on a launch pad, very similar to what Bitcoin was sitting on just recently, before I was trying to call that out on Twitter as well for Bitcoin. And Polygon MATIC also just closed 2 weeks in a row above the previous all-time high on the weekly candles. But first I want to show you guys this. So this is kind of where I see us right now in the Polygon chart. I see us sort of like in this range. See how this is a sort of a similar flag that's forming here to what's forming currently on the chart. So what we're looking at now is sort of the same thing. It's like this flag that has been forming here, and we see it play out also in the RSI. So if we're looking at the RSI here, where I have circled, and then we're also looking at the RSI here, we're obviously not overbought at all. So when you look at for the tops of some of these coins, we're definitely always going to be looking at the RSI. As you can see, it's following this trend pattern as well on the RSI here. And we can see here what it did. It went up, it went from here to the top with just this move right here. And so we can kind of see it too. It bottoms out, it comes back up, and then it's sort of hovering here, right? It's forming it's a bull flag on the RSI. And you can see it come down, up, and now we're sort of forming this bull flag on the RSI. And so if we took this same move in the RSI, we would get bam, right on this trend line too. See how this trend line goes, right? So we would get right to this trend line. And if we made the same move we did before on the chart, it would take us up to about 380. And so I'm looking for 100% gain here in Polygon. It may sound a little bit crazy, but at the same time, there's billions of dollars floating around in this marketplace. And another thing that is going for Polygon, they just had a Malaysian firm tokenize their equity, like their actual stock, 28 billion worth on Polygon. So that's, I mean, talking about also DraftKings possibly being a validator. So they're going to have to own Polygon and stake it to validate the network. And so you're going to see Polygon pop up on DraftKings, balance sheet in the future. They talked about that in their earnings call the other day as well. So this is big time stuff right here that we're talking about with Polygon. And so not only is it playing out in the charts, but we have a sort of a storyline to go along with it. They said on October 18th, we continue to lay the groundwork for our vision of DraftKings Marketplace by announcing a blockchain collaboration with Polygon, which provides us a scalable, eco-friendly blockchain solution that enables added throughput and expanded capabilities. Also, DraftKings now has the option to potentially contribute to Polygon's governance and help secure the network as a validator node. So this is big time stuff for Polygon. So look for this to play out in the charts. Right now is probably the perfect time to get in while everyone is FOMOing into Bitcoin, Ethereum, the altcoins. Some of the altcoins are kind of hanging back. So I'm looking for that to play out. Here's another thing I'm looking to play out in Bitcoin. So this is basically what I did here is, as you can see on the weekly chart, we have these 3 candles that played out previously. And, we had it play out. So we basically had these 3 candles that went directly sideways right before we blasted off through this entire run. And it was hovering right around all-time highs. So what we have now is we have the same thing. We had 3 sideways candles hovering above resistance. So our resistance this whole time was like 60K. So on the weekly chart, so 60K was the all-time high in the previous weekly candles all time. And now we're hovering 3 candles above. We closed all 3 of those candles above 60K. So we made resistance support, same thing as Polygon's doing right now. And now we're seeing it play out on the charts. So we have the RSI just about to cross into this territory where we could see it, really kind of get crazy here. So I'm looking for, 80 to 85K Bitcoin within the next month or so. And then I think we cool off. I don't think we'll get to 100K like some people think. I think it's going to be a tease. And then we cool off. So if we followed the same thing we did here, where we went 3, candles sideways and on the weekly, right around all-time highs, we went all the way to 43K. If we take that same candle and we overlay it here, it looks like 85K by November 29th. We correct back to about 70K. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a little bit sharper. And then we go to 110K by March. That's just if we overlay the entire move here. So we're obviously gonna have things in between, but that's just if we overlaid this move and the exact time length that it took. That's where we would end the cycle around 110K on March, whatever it would be, 14th. So that might not be like totally exact, but I think that kind of fits my thesis. I think we could get a little bit more parabolic in this last run. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something more like along the lines of that, because usually at the end of cycles is really where we get this parabolic blow off. I also wanted to show, I think on the daily, just the RSI and something to just watch out for as we're getting closer to these all-time highs, is that if you look at the RSI here for Bitcoin in the past, when we hit this all-time high, it's sort of like, just kind of peaks. Actually, you know what? It was the Ethereum chart on the daily RSI where the RSI actually doesn't make it back to as high as it was previously, but on this, we do see it actually go as high. But this is just something to look out for. So I started looking at the RSI a lot closer recently. It's really helped me sort of figure out like where we are at in the market. Like I think you can see like when we're overheated. And this is actually where it happened in the Bitcoin chart, where we had the highest RSI was actually this 43K, and then we just continued to get lower and lower highs. So if you see lower and lower highs on the RSI as we're going higher, that's sort of when you know that we're cooling off, because the relative strength is getting lower and lower. So I think that we're actually probably going to play out a whole new cycle. So look for, maybe this first spike, like maybe 85K Bitcoin takes us to, on the RSI, maybe it takes us up to here. And then maybe we just keep making sort of the same pattern we did here. And we just keep making higher lows as we get lower highs, I should say, lower highs as we get all the way up to, somewhere around 140,000. With Ethereum, we are just about to enter this blow off phase as well for Ethereum. So our targets have always been around 6,500 for this rally. And so, that's what we're going to look for here. I do think it's interesting for Ethereum that along this entire path, it actually has been making sort of these lower highs here on the RSI. And so I'm not sure if this is going to be a new cycle of RSIs, kind of like what I was saying for Bitcoin, or if we're going to respect the RSI. Usually, Ethereum does not outperform Bitcoin in Q4. It never has in its 7-year history. I think this quarter could be different. I think there's a lot more institutions who are going directly to Ethereum. We have a ton of activity on the network that's happening. We have layer 2 solutions coming online, like Immutable X. We just have so much going on. All the ETH that's being burned, we have over 800,000 ETH that's been burned. There's just no supply of ETH out there. So I'm still the most bullish out of anything on ETH. I think we will get to 6,500, maybe by around, the end of November or something like that, sort of similar to Bitcoin. So those are my 3 plays for you guys. I really hope that you got something out of this video where we were looking at the charts today. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Please also, like the video if you can, and, have a great day.